Yeah, Deuce, Dodge. I'm here with my man Jerome to my right, to my guy, Chris Salini, and my guy over here, Elliot Greenberg. And another edition on
Deuce knows best.
What's good, y'all?
It's good, guys.
Yo, man. Yo, thanks, yo, man. Thanks for
Finally got
inviting
you
me
out
to
here.
this. Yo, this restaurant is beautiful right here, man.
Finally got you out here, man. Tried to do this over the summer, right? You know?
It's crazy, man. Another championship. Another championship.
Back to back to back.
3 times. Let me ask you a serious question. Because since you seen the post an hour ago that 9-man just went back to Tampa.
Yeah.
You think Joe would have won this 3-peat if they would have stood in Tampa?
Probably would have been easier.
It would have been easier?
Yeah, because a lot of our good players were over there. And our whole defensive back, we had to make a lot of changes the last week or two going into Florida. We had our roster was completely different. So a lot of guys were playing small ball, and Bruce Matt, Prince, Shaq, Newski, and they're a big part of the team. So we missed those guys, but I think if we were at Tampa, they're playing with us.
Because I don't know if it's coincidence or what, because since they switched over to the UFFL, Joe won 3 in a row. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know if the USA flag is bad luck to y'all, you know?
We're going to find out, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Because y'all won 5. Y'all got 5 national championships?
I have 5.
So tell us the history. Tell us the history. Like, when was the first? You know?
The first was I started a team, Main Event Titans. The owner of this place here was a guy on the team. He sponsored the team. His name is Mike Constantanos. Shout out to him. And he was a great sponsor, great football player. Played for the All-American at Temple. Played for the Eagles and the Bills.
What year just started playing?
I started playing in 1989. I'm old, but
not under Main Event.
No. Main Event came about. Mike started sponsoring a team in like 2000. But
2000.
I was sponsoring a team previous with the Suffolk Titans, and then we became the Main Event Titans.
Under George Higgins?
Yes, all this was in George Higgins.
George Higgins, yes.
Yes.
That's the Godfather. Remember that. Uncle George Higgins, the Godfather. Thank you.
Uncle George.
Yeah, Uncle George. I love that guy.
So,
he started me off. You know.
And we started going down to the USTFL, Austin Tyndale, in '99, and we finally won a national championship in 2004. So that was the first main event. Yes.
2004.
So, and then I moved to Florida, and I gave the team to a couple of different guys, and I wasn't around for a couple of years. And when I came back, my team has got older. It wasn't really playing much anymore. Mike said, "Let's do a team again." And in 2009, we started the 9-man team.
Who hosted the national in 2004? Like, who was it? Like,
USTFL.
And
That was
won,
Mike Sion.
Yeah, Mike Sion. And y'all won twice under that.
No,
right?
we won once there.
No, once?
We won once. Twice, you're right.
Twice, yeah.
2016, we won 6.
That's what I'm saying.
One of the finest
USA flag
seasons.
might be bad luck. I don't know if you're going to 4-peat. Because you're going back to the USA flag. That's the FFWTC. That's what they call it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They bad luck to y'all. Yo, what?
Well, we have an 8-man chip from FFWCT, and we got a 5-man chip in Richmond. So we've got our share of jewelry, but I mean, we don't have, jewelry like that from 9-man. So as you can see, these beautiful rings, my man Norm wanted to make sure he got a shout out for the jewelry that the UFFL has provided. So that is definitely one thing that Chuck and Travis are on the clock for.
Yes.
You gotta make sure you got some jewelry like that ready for my guys, and we could do customized, so that's all right for us.
You see, people think YTG is the best flag football team in the nation. People say that, but not to me. I believe it's Main Event. Because they play real flag football.
From an organizational standpoint, I mean, it's really hard to dispute it. I mean, no disrespect to those guys. They're great at what they do. Yeah. But Main Event has gone nationally, played 8-man across the country, 9-man, to be able to 3-peat on the level that we play at is extraordinary.
Yes, sir.
I mean,
I definitely got you on number 1.
Well, also to run an organization with, 35 people traveling,
Right.
it's a lot harder than a 5-man team with 10 guys.
Right.
It's just a lot harder. So, I mean, it is what it is. And I've talked about it with Elliot getting involved in 5-man because our guys are the freaks, so they're big in it. but we don't like the game.
Right.
So it's not real football to me. It's fun. You can't press cover. You can't play defense. You score, we score. You score, we score. You know, I'm not knocking it. You know, because I just don't. It's not my type of thing.
You remember who was your quarterback in 2004?
Yes, Nicky LaMonaco.
Nick Brown. And your second one was
Dio.
And what year was that?
2016.
2016.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's really kind of one of the remarkable parts is like you look at the 4 championships, and the first to the fourth are such dramatically different teams. And even from the second to the fourth, it's hugely dramatic, you know, huge changes. So
Yeah, like
it's not just, you know, winning the chips. You know, Mike certainly these last 3 years is, you know, he's the bus driver. But at the end of the day, like this team has evolved, and really, you know, the veterans now run the shop.
No, I understand. Mike is the greatest flag football quarterback ever. Listen, no disrespect to them guys like Hoosh and Eric Holiday and Mark. Mike is the greatest.
Well,
you know
we've taken our losses to Mike, and we saw Mike
absolutely.
When he was younger and could move. And I mean, the guy was just he was unstoppable. I mean, you know.
What year Elliott came?
Elliott came on as a player. He played good hustler, played on a team, sudden impact. Said, you know, Chris, I'd like to get involved. I'd like to come play. You know, early on in stages, like we started 2009, so I think 2011.
2011.
He was aboard already, and you know, he just kept on doing more and more. And he says, you know, I'd like to come aboard and coach and sponsor. And every year I gave him more and more responsibility. So to be honest, at this point, it's Elliott's team. I coach, but it's really Elliott runs the whole thing. But every year, more and more. And to be honest, I've gotten older and older, and I want to coach. I don't want to do, you know, there's so much work that goes into a 9-man team. That there's days he calls me, I call him. I don't want to do this anymore. This is just ridiculous. And shout out to Johnny and Buck and all these guys who've done it. Running a 9-man team is hard.
It's yearly.
It's just it's
yearly.
It's like a job.
Yeah,
it's like yearly. A year-round job. You know.
So you think your team could compete with the greatest team ever, like the Packers?
Oh, and not compete. We would.
And you win?
Yeah.
Just the athletes are different.
I had my friend Joey Ostafet was a great player. He coached at University of Tennessee. He saw we won the championship. He hasn't been involved in flag football in a while. He played at Northwestern, one of the best kick return I've ever seen. He texts me, congratulations, you're still doing this, huh? And he says, could we compete on national championship team? And I said, no. I said, Joe, it's just, we play with a tight end and a back. 5 wides now, one's faster than the other. The speed of the game every year.
Absolutely.
And these are great, don't get me wrong. I have respect for all these teams. And I'm old school, so I'm from that. I remember the first Packers, not the DJ Packers. They came out and ran the ball.
Running the ball, yes.
They ran the ball.
I got a question. Name your top 5 all-time 9-man teams. Main event is at number 1. So who's 2, 3, 4, and 5?
Gladiators.
Yes.
Gladiators is number 2.
Gladiators.
All right, number 3.
Well, the thing with the Gladiators is, I think you could say it is arguably they're one or we're one. They went on a 2-year run.
But they didn't lose.
They didn't lose a game.
They didn't lose.
We don't do that great in the regular season. We still win tournaments. We do more 8-man. We don't. Our track record, especially with COVID, we haven't been playing a lot. During the year, we're very beatable. The reason why, we have guys who just come and play Florida. Right. They live there, they come. Right. So in Florida, I'll take my chance every time. But during the year, teams like the Bulldogs and the Lions, so we don't dominate during the year. But we have the national championships. Yes. My thing is, my best against your best, we're going to win. That's my opinion. But if you're going by a team that didn't lose a game for 2 years and won 10 tournaments in a row, that's pretty impressive.
Not a tournament. They didn't lose a game.
They didn't lose a game.
Give points.
I
mean, Packers definitely, number 3.
And the Packers did it with totally two different teams. They had a running team where every offensive line was 350 pounds. Matt Steeple, one of the best linemen ever. And they went to DJ, God rest his soul, and they went to 5 wides with speed. And they were before their time. John Morse, T-Mac, they were the first team to come out, spread you out, and have speed all across the board. So they were ahead of their time. Now everybody does that. Yes. So I give them props to BC. Mike has a championship with the Blue Dogs. They beat us.
Our BC was great.
And then
they always talk about BC.
And then they became BC. They combined with Chris Severino, God rest his soul, and they were great too. They went on a 2-year run too, winning a lot of tournaments. So, and talent-wise, this is no disrespect, they didn't have the talent that Main Event or the Gladiators, but Mike was Mike was magical.
The X factor.
Yeah, he was the X factor.
X factor.
And they had good players, but there was holes on that team.
Yeah.
But Mike made up for the holes.
Yeah.
Who was your hardest competition this year?
I mean, because of styles, the Rollers, just because of the style they play, you can play every other team basically the same way. But when you play the Rollers, you better be able to adjust. So I mean, CJ just brings a different element. And I mean, if guys don't know this, and it kind of speaks to like, the involvement of the team. We have a NFL safety who took himself off the field when we played the Rollers. He said, "I'm not a man guy." So Quinn Blanding, who's just an awesome teammate.
In my opinion, best safety in 9-man.
Windshield wiper back there playing a 9-man. Said, "Listen, that's not my game. I'll come off when you need me. I'm ready to go." So I mean, that speaks to the unselfishness and how you have like just a team. I mean, listen, main event is run by Will Cole. He's the engine, the heartbeat. What he does on defense on Sunday is like nobody else. And honestly, like the ability to communicate both high and low with, like what Will and Gene did in the championship game and the semis was amazing. Like,
Let me ask you a question. What Nino doing? I see the picture. Who Nino bagged? He bagged you, or he bagged Mike?
Not
He bagged
me.
one of you to be on special teams. He bagged one of you
Not
so he
me.
can take a picture. You know
Listen,
what I'm saying?
I made my money on special teams.
Yeah.
I made my money.
Yeah, but you were part of the team. You were part of the
Yeah.
team for years.
Yeah.
And,
That's different.
And in the other tournaments you played.
Oh,
lot.
yeah, absolutely.
It wasn't like you
Absolutely.
didn't play.
Yes,
So I mean, you played.
Javon, who's the better duo? Chris and Elliot, or Buck and Johnny?
As far as what are we talking? I need details.
They both with the team, running the team, coaching, everything. Like,
so I think
the gladiators, and the gladiators is number 2, so they must, they ran they ship right.
organization.
You know what I'm saying?
I think it depends the style of offense, like as well as defense. So you have two apex playing against each other.
Mm-hmm.
So when I came in, like before Bulldogs, we would lose to the Gladiators. That was it. Like nobody else beat main event. And then once the Gladiators fell off, then it was just main event. But as a tandem, I think the work, like people don't understand the work that goes on behind the scenes that they do. And I think that was the difference. So I'm always gonna go with my coaches, just a little bit of bias. But the way the organization is ran, and it goes back to what Elliot said, is unselfishness. And I'm not gonna take any shots at anybody, but I remember there was a player from a certain team who we brought on and we know wasn't good for the team. And that's why the organization is extremely different now because of the unselfishness that the talent that they're running. Because if
no
you're a
doubt
selfish
about
player,
it.
you
I
can't play.
mean, the guys on the team, I mean, we've made a lot of mistakes. I tell
sir.
people, like,
Yeah, a lot of
nothing like experience to try to, like, bring in good people and the
Yes.
value of bringing in good people. And, like, we'd rather win, we'd rather lose with good people.
Right. Absolutely.
We talk all the time about we brought some unbelievable. I'm not going to say names, but really great players, but not for us. All about them, all about me, all about them, and it's very hard. You have to weed those players out. You see the guy play, you're very tempted to like, wow, this guy's amazing. But then he comes on your team and he wrecks the whole.
Doesn't fit
the
your
whole
style.
It just doesn't fit
your
in.
style.
And we've made tons of mistakes, and we've brought on tons of people. But now we just get rid of boom, one tournament, sayonara. We've learned from those mistakes, and we have such an incredible, unselfish group. Like what he said about the safety, we have guys that are like that could. Stars that are sitting out
Yes.
a game or two.
Yes.
Hey, this is not my style of team, or this is a running team, or
I need a breather.
We're playing CJ. We're calling one defense for CJ and a totally different defense for Jeff Costa.
Yes.
And if you are not able, football has changed in the NFL and in the flag. It's situational football. So like I let you finish. If we have 4 DNs that play college ball or pro ball, 260, they're all animals, but they're getting CJ. Guess what? They're not getting him.
No.
They don't even have to give block. They're going to beat their guy and then so you have to be able to go to those guys and say, I know you're playing the NFL, but you're not playing this game. What? No, you're not playing. I'm putting in my fastest guys.
Unexpected.
And that's how and it's very hard to do that because the other teams, I talk to their coaches and they say, yeah, I like to do that, Chris, but the guy's going to quit.
Eagles. Yes, Eagles.
So
The
that
guy's gonna quit.
guy you want to take off the field when we played CJ, saved our ass and made the play of his life. Monty interception, RT in the end zone. So, I mean, you want to talk about, like, if you want to go back and, like, watch the greatest, really one of the greatest flag football plays I've ever seen. We got a 6'2", 6'4", 230-pound monster, defensive tackle for the Washington Redskins, reaches down like a wide receiver and catches the shit in his hands at his knees. Like, just a fucking amazing,
Plays
unreal.
that you're not supposed to make.
Deuce, this year was the most difficult for us.
But the Punishers is easy. My bad. They not even the Punishers no more. They notorious. Yo, what happened to the Punishers? They done?
No, I don't think they'll.
When the last time they won
it all
something?
depends on what Eric and
long
Thomas
as
and the
Eric-
guys want to be.
Let's having barbecues. They'll be a
Absolutely.
Punishers team.
Absolutely.
Barbecue.
Don't matter the name. We know the players. It don't matter the name.
They done, right? They done.
Backyard
They tried to
barbecues that
murder-
cannot
they
be
tried to
beat,
murder-
man.
With the Bulldogs or something?
That only happened because Chris would have put his team in, and unfortunately for Chris, Tampa killed it worse
Yeah.
than us.
He's in the
All
lab
his
right now,
guys-
man.
Yeah, Chris Beal will be back. He's a
Small
maniac.
ball.
We have
He's in the
no respect for
lab.
him.
He's right
He's
now.
our arch right now. It used to be me and Buck. It's me and Chris. Chris couldn't put a team. Unfortunately, you can't put a team with no quarterback. So he's
What happened to Birdman? His wing broke, and now he can't fly no more. Birdman,
that's the
Birdman can't fly no more.
That's
He
the
wasn't a
Buffalo-
bird.
Listen, I will say this. So let's just get this straight. Like, Birdman put a lot of people on headline, man. He put people straight on blast a lot. And when he got hurt, man, it's like he just kind of faded away. He really didn't have to take the camera. He didn't have to really take the abuse like he gave out. So if he's coming back, he's good for the game, brings a lot of energy.
Absolutely.
And listen, main event is looking forward to it because we definitely
Payback.
have more than one we got to pay him back for.
Payback.
Yeah, Birdman's good for the game. I mean, everybody. He's
But his wing is broken.
He's a
He can't
cat.
fly no
Nah,
more.
Hey, man, this
he's
medical
never been a flyer.
magic, man.
He wasn't no birds where you used to see him fly. Now he just walk like that. What happened to your
Up in the
wing?
Bronx, you got Medicine Man. He up there right now, I heard. So he's getting hit,
He just
getting
got, he
fixed.
might have to play small ball, to train, so it's not as
There's nothing
as
wrong.
demanding.
There's nothing wrong with Brian. Brian lost his confidence.
So Mr. Miyagi shit gonna go on right there.
He'll be back when we least expect it. He'll pop back.
I'm sure not going to Florida this year. He's not. He's a young guy. He's not old. Had to burn a little bit of a hole in himself. I'm sure he'll come back stronger.
I'm waiting
play
for him
some
to walk
league
in the
ball.
door, man.
So what's next, though? What's next? Wait, you're going to AC?
Yeah, we'll be at AC, absolutely. And like we should have a real good team at
Well,
AC.
you and Ellie do the 8-man. I don't go to that stuff, but our guys really like it.
Yeah, we're going to
love
Colorado
it.
for sure, man. End of July.
Well,
That's
they don't know, or if they don't know, you won back-to-back chips.
yeah, man. Back to the back
Yeah.
at the best of the
Back to
best. I mean, that is a great time. Like, you want to talk about experiences, man, and reason to play flag football. It's like you go out to Colorado, you're playing like in like the mountains, you're in the
Yes.
middle of.
And a lot of
like,
teams from Colorado.
Yeah,
A
it's
lot
just.
of teams
I mean,
from
honestly,
Colorado.
that's why we got into the 8-man. It's like
Yes.
9-man. Honestly, it's just kind of like you're saying to play the same
Yeah, it was
teams
stale. It was getting
over and
stale.
over.
It was
So,
getting stale.
and the 8-man style is just a great style of football because it just brings so much strategy to the field.
Absolutely.
So something different, man. Keep guys interested.
I think it's also a great way to train the linemen because they don't understand that it may be not non-contact, but it's a spread format. Like 9-man isn't a spread format, so we have to keep the line in. I think what people take for granted is that main event has athletes on the line that can go out there and play tight end, go out there and play defensive end, go out there and play O-lineman and catch passes that you don't see a lot of teams have. So I think they really underestimate that.
Unfortunately for 9-man, 8-man hurts 9-man because all the offensive linemen now, they want to catch
They want to
passes.
catch passes, absolutely.
So they're not interested in going to the 9-man tournament.
Absolutely.
They want to go to the 8-man tournament. They want to snap the ball and go out and catch a ball.
Right.
Understandable.
Right.
Yeah.
But also, people don't know that you won championships in 5-man. You won championships in 7-man. You won one championship in Vegas and 2 in Colorado, and then 4 in the last 6 years.
Yep.
Almost won 5.
You need a girls team now.
Listen, if it hadn't been for a funny call
That's
on
what
an
I
extra
said.
on a field goal,
Absolutely.
I mean, we were going to the
Absolutely.
chip again. So,
Absolutely.
I mean, honestly, the big thing I tell people all the time is like, it's not just the 4 chips you see here. It's like we are in the semis or the finals
Yeah, Final Four every
for
year.
a decade.
Every year.
A decade.
Absolutely.
I mean, who does that?
Yeah, absolutely. You
I
can't
mean-
name a team. You cannot name a
Like
team.
when we started, it was Omni, Main Event, Real Deal, the Packers, and those were the teams. And then those teams got a little. And those are guys I bowled.
Hey,
I played.
bring
against.
get Mark over here. He knows those are the
Yeah.
teams he played.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And
Everybody.
then you can take my headset. But then, long story short,
Introduce him.
and then it was BC Gladiators Main Event. Those are and now Lions, Bulldogs. It's changed, but we're still here.
Absolutely.
We're still here. It's like everyone. We had a drop off here and there, but we're right back at it.
I tell people, I think since I've been
My
a
God.
part of main event,
Yes, sir.
I think since I've been a part of main event, I think our worst loss was probably to the Texas team some years ago, and that's the only time we was ever one and done.
So this is Mark Campbell. I just want to introduce him. he started the team with me before Elliot came on. It was Mark, and Mark recruited all our players. He was a football coach at Nassau Community College, and Nassau Community College, Angel went there. A lot of Division I ball players. They were always a top 5 junior college in the country.
Was he recruiting and playing at the same time?
Yes.
What position did you used to play?
Offensive guard.
O-line.
O-line?
Yep.
So you just throw people in their neck.
Nah, I was old by then. I hadn't thrown anybody out the club in years. But before that, Chris will tell you, we used to get at it.
Yeah?
Yeah, we played against each other for years. And honestly, without him, there wouldn't even have been a main event. I got to give the credit because, I was doing all the work, but he was bringing me in these players.
The players, yes, sir.
I mean, and, they play for 2 years and they go back to home, wherever they live.
You built that 2014?
Yes, he was one of the guys.
Yeah.
And so without him, there is definitely no. I'm glad he came today, because people just know Elliot and me, but honestly, there was so many people. I tell Elliot all the time, man, it's been a long journey. Like we won with Rich Ferreggi, we won with Henry Ford, we won with DJ, we won with
That's wow.
Krista Palmer, Dio, and now Mike. So
all different styles of
all
offense.
different styles of quarterbacks, all different
offense.
styles of offense, and yet we won, with all these guys, And, I always know, when teams build teams, they're always looking for receivers and DBs. I'm just picking O-line and D-line. Don't care. Don't care. I can find 5,000 receivers who gets the ball more fast.
But so, get to the
if you don't have it, center, quarterback, kicker. If you don't have those 3 guys, don't go to the tournament.
That's when O-line and D-line is where win you championship.
100%. And 9-man. Other styles different.
No, even 8-man. Craig, the leg, won MVP when we won it out in Vegas.
You know how hard it is to find a good 9-man center? That's a very hard position.
Yeah, where Craig at? I thought he was coming through.
Oh, Craig the leg. Yeah. He's up in Albany.
Yeah, Albany?
Yeah, he's playing, not semi-pro. I think he's Pro Bowl.
He's signed a contract with Arizona.
Okay.
He's going back.
Okay.
Anyway, Mark, say
I'm
some
just
stuff.
happy to be part of this team, the journey, watching the team from the beginning to where we are now. It's amazing. And, the constants have always been Chris and Elliot. Always have been the constants. They're always the ones, calling the shots. I laugh at times because they'll call me up and say, yo, we need a left guard. They don't grow on trees.
Right.
But I'll try to find one. Or I'll start going through my list of players.
Right.
And that's part of what helps main event to maintain that level of success, because a lot of teams fall off. A lot of teams have to completely rebuild.
That's why a lot of teams stay in the B.
We can always reload.
B bracket because
we reload. And I can tell you, the fights that I've had with him and the fights with him, I wanted to kill each other.
Brothers,
don't talk for weeks at a time sometimes. And that's how, my wife's like, why do you do this? What are you doing? Like this can't be. But when you win, it's all worth it. But it really, I have respect for Eric and Chris and all the guys who run a team, because only us, coaches know the work. I know you've run teams, and you guys will tell you they're coming. You're set to go to California. You got a bomb squad. You guys are the favorites, and 5 guys don't get on the plane.
Yep.
I mean, how do you?
I can't use that as an excuse.
No, but still,
But it happens.
It happens.
Yeah, I know it did happen to me, but at the end of the day, I got to play with the card is dealt with. You know what I'm saying? And I'm out here preaching like I'm the greatest of all that. I should have won with my 8 guys.
You should have made adjustments, right?
I should have made adjustments. You know what I'm saying? But
you have an idea what it's like,
Right.
and 9-man's just a bigger schedule, So
I believe it's the biggest stage in flag.
It is.
Because you have a combination of things that you don't have to account
Ellie, come
for.
take my spot.
You have things that you don't have to account for, such as blocking, such as I can't dump the ball off when I'm under pressure. I can't dump it off to a lineman. So can you talk a little bit about the recruiting aspect? How difficult that is, or where your talent pool may
it comes
reach?
from two areas. Part of it is Hofstra. I went to school at Hofstra, part of that program. So initially it was my boys. We all played 9-man on Long Island against each other. Yeah. So it would be a bunch of us. So Ron Woodall, Ashley Longden. And then it's funny, watching Winston Longden play. I remember Winston as a kid. We won Long Island championships when Winston was 7, 8 years old, sitting at Ashley's knee. So to watch his progression. And then it went from that to me coaching at Nassau. And I really tried not to mess with my guys who were active, because I
Right.
can't risk
Right.
them
Getting
getting hurt.
Yes,
But
sir.
a guy, once he's done playing, I'm going to reach out to him. Yo, bro, what are you doing with yourself? Are you playing anywhere? Come play some flag football. And for the local kids, it was one thing. They come play a Long Island League. But then when it came to travel, one of the players that I feel was influential in taking main event to that next level was your brother.
Yes, sir.
Your brother played for me at Nassau, balled out. Went from there to, I believe it was Maine at first, and then Stony
Yeah,
Brook.
Maine, yes, sir.
But then from that, one day I was like, yo, we got a tournament down in Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
He came through, balled out, and kind of took the team on a different trajectory
Absolutely.
at that point.
But there's so many guys like that, like Jonas, and like I was thinking on the ride over, I'm like Big Dav. I was like, he's
Yes,
local,
sir.
like
Yes, sir.
another former
Yes,
Nassau
sir.
dude.
Yeah.
So,
You got to understand how much grief Chris gives me when a Nassau player is playing for someone else.
Yeah.
Because I still catch hell for Issa, and I love Issa. Issa is one of my favorite football players ever. Issa's playing for
Dogs.
For the Dogs.
Okay.
He kills me. Griggs playing for the Dogs. I mean, their safety that played for me, Blake. So I catch hell, and it's like, and they love me.
Can't get everybody, though.
They give me love.
Can't get everybody.
But I don't own them. Winston played for me
yeah.
in Nassau.
Yeah.
They my boys.
Went
I mean,
to my high school
and
in
they're
Canarsie,
family.
Brooklyn.
Yo,
Yeah.
who recruited Tank? Tank.
like Tank's a funny story, man. Because like Tank came on the team, he was a receiver. He walked on, basically was like, we didn't know who he was. We were playing down in Richmond. We were playing 8-man. I wasn't there, so Mike basically was like, yo, this kid's jumping through the roof making catches. And like, lo and behold, Tank's a DB, and it's like, it turns out he's one of Aaron's guys. So it's like he just kind of fit. He's one of the pieces of the family.
Absolutely.
It's like the only piece out there, like Tavon is like the stepchild. We haven't been able to bring him in. Sandy came into the family this past year, so it's like,
since you bring Tank in, that's 3 straight.
Tank has
he's
got
good
like
luck. He's a good luck.
He's definitely building a Hall of Fame resume, man.
Yeah.
He's in the right place at the right
What
time.
people don't know, look, even Zeke came out of retirement.
Yeah.
Zeke came out of retirement,
Absolutely.
and he's up there in age as well, but he's
Zeke's
still
playing in the 35 and over, man. Like,
you know what I mean? But he comes back.
well, listen, I mean,
Three
that's
straight
part of the
championships.
thing that gives you the ability to have the numbers and play with the
Absolutely.
depth, because you got guys like Zeke who are willing to be.
Experience as well.
Absolutely.
I love that your guy, Gene and Gritty. You know what I'm saying?
Gritty's
Yeah.
a straight dog,
Yeah, dog,
man.
right.
Straight
Right.
dog.
Right, and that.
And like, you need dogs up front, man. You
Absolutely.
can't play this game without.
But also, it goes back to saying, like, it happens when teams fold. Because when it was Gator and Takeover, which people don't remember, at one point, I think the Gator Takeover, when they merged, they won everything for a year straight.
But it's good. It's
know?
good that, to me, Main Event is a New York team.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And Takeover is a New York team. And when taking over that day, they came to a New
Absolutely.
York team. They still
Absolutely.
New York. They didn't go to the South.
Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying? And
So the
and I like
irony of that is, like,
Yeah.
it's a New York team, and I got to deal with all these Philly guys who
Right,
give me so
right,
much shit.
right,
man. It's like,
right.
I got to listen about the Virginia
But
boy
listen,
is a Philly
now,
fan.
listen. Don't get me wrong. When people tell me that, like, I'm not a New York coach. I'm a national coach. You're a national coach. That's what you are. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
listen,
saying?
main events, like, I'm
you
from New
bigger
York, but the
than
team
you got
listen.
bigger. You know what I'm saying?
But what people
Take
don't
rules.
understand, we
all over Carolinas.
won everything in Long Island. That was the problem.
That was it.
We won, and that's when I was a player. Like, when I first came into the game, we won everything in two different leagues in Long Island until they was like, we're
not
done.
it wasn't even
It wasn't
really worth
competition.
it.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I mean, Super 10, basically,
Yeah, we won.
Titans in the main event basically
and that was
dominated.
It. Yep, we dominated, and then after that, they 9-man was done in Long Island. So people don't understand that they play other leagues and other styles in Connecticut, in Jersey, in PA. We don't have that.
We don't have 9-man.
We don't have that in Long Island, or in the New York City metropolitan area, really.
Listen, I wish we could play league play. It just doesn't fit our
Absolutely.
style. I mean, like,
Absolutely.
and for us to travel, there's got to be a bag involved. So I mean, like, we
Absolutely.
go to nationals, but like,
Right.
it costs money.
You
to
think
lose an
Main
event.
Event win a new era?
Oh, absolutely. What?
Yeah.
Why are you asking that question?
I don't know. Revolution might get them.
if-
I don't know. You gotta come over. You gotta come
Bring him down to
over.
Florida, man. It's simple, right?
Listen,
Just bring him down to Florida. You know where to find us.
Not only that, like.
They don't play 9-man. It's 8-man.
Exactly.
But it's the
We
same
play
thing.
8-man. We cool.
No, but it's
No,
different.
take one off.
No,
It's
it's
not.
different.
It's different. It's way different.
It's like Uncle George.
Listen, I understand that.
No competition.
Like, the center and the right guard
No
can't go out
competition.
fast.
Listen, I mean, the main event
It's just like
puts 4
9-man.
wide receivers out there that are anybody else's number one.
Right.
So I mean, like, you try to play defense against us,
Can't.
and it's literally just pick your poison.
No competition.
So, and like before, where we get our players, best pickup we had this past season. My man Marquand, he was like a beast, like tournament MVP.
You see, lean play might be different though. You ain't gonna be flying somebody every week out. You know what I'm saying? And that's why the Bulldogs, when they do lean play, they're not as strong either than when you travel. You know what I'm saying?
No, definitely.
But Bulldogs as well. I think what also hurt the Bulldogs as well is that they was winning everything too. Maybe not. I think it was playing 8-man at the time, but the same thing with them. They was winning everything, and then they just shut down 8-man, and then it's like now we can't build that chemistry. So I think that's also one of the big things that hurt. Just Long Island football is that us and the Bulldogs won everything, and then they just shut everything down. But if you're telling me, even local guys, because remember we still had guys from the city, right? So after that, I mean, I don't think there will be no competition, honestly.
I mean, look, we need more 9-man teams. We need to bump these teams up. Like it's like we went down Maryland, lost in the championship to the team that won the B. I mean, bad boys, shame on you. You should have been playing in the A. You would have been in the quarterfinals for a lock.
Bad boys, PME.
So
like I said, I could name about 10 B teams that can play in the A. But as I said, if no money's involved, they're not going to move up. And that's just my personal opinion. You make A pot 4 times as big as B pot.
Well, listen, I mean, I don't want to start asking questions, but I mean, where's the money go? So I mean,
above my pay grade.
Nothing's above your pay grade right here.
Above my pay grade.
You got a microphone and a camera. There is nothing above your pay grade.
What happened?
E bootleg talking shit. E bootleg, stop.
What'd he say?
Stop. You're jealous.
Oh,
You're
the hate is
jealous
on?
because you're not winning. You know what I'm saying? You're a loser. The Punishers, not the Punishers no more. Yeah. It's over for y'all.
Oh, it's not about the Punishers.
Yeah, it's over for them. What's their name? Notorious? It's over. That's it.
Listen, we need them back though. Like all jokes aside,
for real,
we need them back. No matter
don't run everybody out.
Listen, I will say from a business standpoint, Eric Bush is a genius. Like he did make a very smart business decision doing the Notorious. Absolutely. If you understand, if you know, you know. So I'm just gonna leave that one. So hey, kudos to you. You definitely were smart, and you got your team down there. You took care of your men. Right. You did it the right way.
Right.
No man left behind.
Why he ain't take Nino?
I don't know what the story behind this.
He shit on Nino. Nino got a big ass Punisher tattoo.
Nino's a good dude, man. I don't know, I
love Nino.
You need to get Nino on here. Nino, where's Nino at?
Nino did many shows.
I know.
Yeah, I love Nino.
Maybe it's a better business opportunity for him to go with main event than it is to go with,
Stop.
I'm just saying. Maybe it was a better opportunity.
It's a chance his role might change a little bit too.
People gonna go to Alabama instead of going to Clemson. There's a reason why people go to Alabama instead of Clemson. Got a better shot to win with Alabama instead of Clemson. So that's just my theory. But I definitely think going forward they might have to shake it up because people don't understand if you do go back to one bracket, it's gonna kill the sport. People don't remember.
No, we don't need to do that. But we just need to listen. When you go to the Nationals, you got to have 12 8 teams. I mean, to me, that's kind of like that's got to be
standard.
The level.
It has to be the standard. Yeah. But I also agree with what Jamie has said. You can't force teams to go to A because they'll change the name or they'll change things up. But I don't know.
Got to be a better way.
Yeah.
Listen, for better, smarter people than me to figure that out.
Financial incentive.
But that's what I said. Make it 4 times. Maybe you could charge a little more and make profits, make the earnings 4 times as much. Incentives. That's
Talk
the
about
only
4
way.
times. You think you're gonna 4P? What's the odds? You're 4P.
As long as everybody stays healthy.
Absolutely.
I mean, listen, and I want Mike Frasco to come back. Listen, we need more.
I heard Mike is on the run. Heard the Mafia looking for him.
Again, above my pay grade.
This is what I heard.
My pay grade.
Get the 5th on that, man.
Right.
Frasco, man. If you need protection, come pay me, man. I got you, man.
But those are 3 New York teams, pretty much.
Who?
Punishers, Dogs,
Punishers are on all.
Second Gen.
I mean, Laney's.
Yeah.
But not Punishers. Rollers are basically like a Laney's.
Yeah, but we need those teams back.
Definitely.
Just to strengthen, not just non.
Listen, I respect the dudes from Elite for stepping up. I mean, TJ came down there with a team that honestly shouldn't have been playing in the
why?
A. But
it should be one division.
Because listen, I mean, a lot of those teams, it's like
why not?
But once you get past the top 2 or 3 teams,
that's
it's not fair.
I just like I said on Facebook, you take the top 4 teams in 9-man A, and they're always going to come. They're going to take the top 8 spots of anything.
I mean, look, and we proved it. We went out in DC, and we lost in the semifinals to the Bad Boys. So it just goes to show you that, I mean,
they can play.
Absolutely,
they can play.
It's crap.
Yeah. like financial incentives. I think that's going to be the
key.
the questions going forward is do you charge more to give more, or is it just going to be the same 8 teams? Because after a while, it's going to you saw my recruits.
No, I was telling Elliot, there's a few guys that I'm looking to add to the mix that are tremendous, going to be tremendous additions.
Absolutely.
Talent-wise, depth-wise, and Elliot knows we don't bring dudes who can't play
Right.
to this
It's
team.
like the mafia, man. I can't get out. Like, I keep trying to get out. Like,
Listen.
if we didn't win this chip, it was going to be like back to the 5 and 6 year old
Right.
flag football, which, like, that's where the
No,
future's
I
at.
see you win the championship with Butte, with the
Yeah,
kids.
man. Chris and I got the 5-year-old, 6-year-olds.
Yeah, that's
So
what's
it's like
up.
that's
Yeah,
where the
that's right.
future's
Yeah,
at. Like
absolutely.
that. I mean,
Okay.
I clap.
hey, listen.
I might ref
They
your
got
game
me
one
for
day. I
another
might
12
ref your
months.
game one day.
I
Throw a
think
flag on y'all.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that could definitely help 9-man is the weekend. I think the scheduling is what hurts us as a community. Everything was on the same weekend. You have 3 events going on the same weekend. So I think something needs to be worked out. I know they all want to have it that weekend because of tradition, but eventually it is hurting the sport. So I wonder if whoever's going to speak behind the scenes could talk about something.
Well,
like
we'll
that.
see what happens. With the
Changing.
if we're going to Tampa and what styles.
So how you feel about that? You not happy?
I mean, listen,
Be honest. If you're happy, you're not happy.
I'm not. It's not. Am I happy about it? I'm not unhappy about it. I don't really know enough about it. I want to make sure I get all the information on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if we're going down to Tampa and it'll be the same. My understanding is we're going to go down to Tampa because it'll be better vibe.
Right.
So if we're going down to Tampa and the small ball formats are on a different weekend,
Yes.
so I don't really see much difference other than we're going down to Tampa to play 7s, 8-man and 9-man, big ball formats.
And you're going to have your players.
Exactly.
That's
Listen,
a bigger
it's
thing.
beneficial for main event.
Absolutely.
But the problem is, like, as dudes have already told me, it's like you can't, from a personal perspective, wallet-wise, go down back-to-back weekends.
No,
It's just
you
not,
can't, yeah.
just not realistic. So, like, listen, it's a very smart, crafty move for Chuck and Travis to move quick with Jamie and Zarek and make this move.
Absolutely.
I don't know the urgency behind it, other than it gives the UFFL, I guess, time to prepare, and I'll give them the benefit of the doubt
Which is fair.
that was the reason they did it. But, I mean, I think, our relationship with UFFL was very good.
Yes.
They gave us what we needed,
Absolutely.
and I'm hopeful, optimistic
We
that,
got to find out more details.
that's just it.
The
I mean,
details is going to come out.
listen, from main event standpoint, my dudes are gonna be there.
Was that
So-
7? We didn't have 7 players on our team.
I mean, 4 big guys.
4 starters, almost 4
Yeah,
starters.
I mean,
essentially.
listen, 3/8 of the defense.
Yeah.
So I mean, or 3/9 of the quarter of the defense. So
Yeah.
it'll be much better situation.
Absolutely.
Us being all at Tampa, and I won't have to worry about the freaks because they'll be playing the weekend after.
Right. And not only that, I think people don't understand that it's not easy, like you said, to go to Tampa, come home, then go back to Tampa.
Yeah.
Some people can't take a week and a half off of work to do
And
that.
if all those small ball formats are going on,
Yeah.
and they can fit 9-man in there, which
Yeah.
again I don't understand how they're able to do that. But if that is the case, then that sounds great.
Right.
Then I give Jamie and Zarek kudos for having set up the best possible scenario. But I want all the facts.
Absolutely.
I mean, listen, man. As far as I know, there's not. Simmers Young, Austin Tisdale, which was where we were at
Yes, sir.
USTFL at, and they had the fight, and that basically lost
that
that.
lost it.
That was the only facility down there that was big enough to
Yes.
host
Everything.
everything. So I don't know that it's really viable, but listen,
I worked the field last year. It's absolutely big enough. It's a massive complex. The grass is really low. It's a beautiful facility.
I mean, the one thing that will suck is like, look, man, we were freeze our ass off in
Yes.
Orlando.
Yes.
It's cold as fuck in Tampa down there, man. Like,
It doesn't matter. I don't think if it matters the weekend before
Nah.
or the weekend after. It's still at the
Still
same
gonna be
time
cold.
period.
Still cold.
So, and I think that's something that guys don't prepare for. They think I'm going to Florida every
No,
year.
man,
We say the same
you're not
thing.
going to Florida,
I'm going
man.
to Florida and it's freezing. It's 50 and it feels like 30. So
How was the ref?
listen, my main event on the
I know
field.
you won,
I'm not gonna go there. I'll plead the fifth on that one.
Listen, all I'm going to say is we had one game where on a 4th and 1 call, the back judge overruled the side judge. So, I mean, you're a referee. How does that happen? Like, how you the side judge and you let some other dude overrule you?
Chain of
The
command.
man who had no angle on the play? It's like-
The head ref overruled him?
I don't know if it's a white hat or not, but
Because the white hat could overrule anything.
no doubt.
Yeah.
But he said,
That's just the rules, you know?
it's just
Talk
crazy.
Yeah.
about it. I need you to talk about
No,
it.
we'll talk about it, but at the end of the day, the white hat gets the last call.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I will say this: the refs let us play, so it was like in the semifinals and championship game.
Right.
I mean, we make plenty of our own mistakes, so I'm not going to ever say the refs took the game from us. Although they did take the semifinals 3 years ago, or 4 years ago, but we won't go there.
Absolutely.
But for the most part, like the refs really did a good job, and like I got very few.
What happened 4
complaints.
years ago? They ran in the kicker or something?
Yeah, man, we was playing the Lions, and fucking after the play was over,
Right.
literally like 5 minutes, they were smoking cigarettes. Oh, penalty up in the kick.
It was the kick was blocked. Gene hit.
Gerald, my man, ran through. He crushed him. He didn't just fucking get
Yeah,
the
he
penalty.
killed him.
He killed him.
Yeah,
I love you, Gerald.
But it was blocked.
Blasted
So
his ass.
We was told it was NFL rules. So after the kick is blocked, the kicker's live. And he got hit, and then it was a whole big thing, 15, 20 minutes.
It was
and they
Follow
picked,
through
they
was trash,
re-picked.
though. That wasn't a real follow through either. He kind of danced into the hit.
Yeah,
listen,
he
that was
definitely
the best
acted.
acting
Yeah,
job.
he definitely acted. I'm
And
not gonna lie.
dude was
Got him
pointing to the
Academy
ref.
Award.
Yeah.
The ref is.
Yeah.
It was terrible. It was
Yeah.
it was just like for a semifinal game to end like that.
You don't.
That was second
take-
gen one.
Yeah, we was gonna smoke second gen.
I don't know. I don't
No,
know.
was it
No, that was not going to be pretty for second
Oh,
gen.
we was smoke second gen.
Yo, we were going to eat him up on the line
Smoke.
bad.
And
Something
and it's
real.
crazy
I
'cause
don't think so.
the next year we played.
You all couldn't barely beat Matt Bailey,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, struggled. But no, was that
No,
the same
Bailey's
year?
your quarterback, right?
Yeah.
That was your cue.
Was that the same year?
But who you beat?
No, they beat
You beat the Lions.
They beat the Lions. They beat.
No, yeah, that was a different year. The year that we blocked it was 4 years ago.
The year that we lost on that field goal, second gen won the chip.
Second gen won the chip. I remember that.
Because they
100%.
won B.
Because trust,
They won
listen,
B
Chris and I
prior.
cry about that one
Yeah,
all the time.
they
We
won-
should
they-
have
they won the B and the
That
A
was
back to
4
back.
chips.
Yeah.
That's if we
Yeah,
don't have
that's
that.
4 chips.
We're beaten.
Yeah.
We are
Yeah.
beaten second gen.
You're not beating Dom.
Yo, I'm gonna have to get
Crazy.
Chelino. He's gonna fight you.
Yeah. Smoking them. Smoking them.
That second gen
Smoking
team
them.
was.
Smoking them. Because
It
we
was
played them
special.
next year. We played them next
Nah,
year.
but that shit, they wasn't the same team.
Listen,
It wasn't the
when
same
when
thing.
Listen,
and
we were
Listen,
locked.
we-
They got worse, they got better though. You know what I'm saying?
when we played when second gen 1B main event played back to back in Atlantic City and we smoked them.
I know, but it was a different team.
I don't want to hear that.
It was a
I wanna
different
hear that. I
team,
don't wanna hear
man.
that. I don't wanna hear that.
It was a different team.
I don't want to hear that. But no, again, that'd have been 4 out of that'd have been 4P,
and
5
out of
last
7.
6, something like that. Something crazy.
Listen, man.
Something
Honestly,
crazy.
like I'm just so proud of the 3P because,
Yeah.
like to me, like
First one ever
teams
done.
have won
First,
back to
yeah.
back,
Yeah.
but nobody has
3P.
won, and it really just speaks to the will, like
Absolutely.
the job. Like I mean,
Let
I
them
said to
know.
Chris,
Nobody's better than y'all. Main event number 1, right?
you're right. I can't argue with you.
Can't deny
Man.
facts.
I'm trying to be humble, but when you're right, you're right.
So, are we expecting main event to be? I don't want to say at a X amount of number of tournaments this year, but
Right now, we are at 3 tournaments. We're hopeful to go to East Coast Nationals.
that's the 8-man tournament.
Yep, 8-man tournament. We're hopeful Atlantic
Atlantic
City,
City.
and we're going out to Colorado in July.
Colorado. What about? Are you guys going to? What's the next one coming up in the Poconos?
So we will not. Mike's getting married.
That's that.
That's a fact.
That's that.
That's a wrap.
He retiring.
No, he's not. He's never. Listen, there's only one way Mike
When he
retires.
can't-
You hear
when
that,
he
Mike?
can't walk. When he can't walk.
When he can't walk, he can't play.
That's
So
it. That's it.
When you say he was getting married, that means he's retiring. I don't know.
nah, he's
Listen.
getting married. When he has a pop, when he pops out a little one, then I'll have to really.
Yeah, with coaching, I think once he gets
he starts playing, yeah.
once he
Listen,
starts
I
playing.
told you guys, like my son, that's where I'm headed.
Yeah,
so it's
yeah,
like
that's what it. I'm telling you, I film the kids.
This
I film
shit's
the
year
kids'
to year,
games.
bro. We roll it
Yeah.
1 year at a time. It's
Yeah.
1 year contracts for
Yep,
everybody.
that's what I'm saying. I
Mike
think-
is definitely the best quarterback you ever had, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's a goat. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I love him, man. Like,
Yeah.
drives me crazy, but like, he's a
Yeah.
goat.
Listen, it was drastic different styles when we had Dio at quarterback and we have Mike at quarterback. I mean, it was bombs over Baghdad with Dio, but if it didn't work, we lost. And believe it or not, our defense was, if not better, at that time. Because we was only giving up maybe a touchdown a game, maybe 2 touchdowns a game.
It's just much different. I mean, the
It's
whole.
much, yeah.
You look at
It's
the
much
defense then
different,
versus
yeah.
what we have now.
Absolutely.
I mean,
we definitely more well-rounded now. I think they're definitely. I mean, from
Each level.
front end to back end.
Yeah,
each level.
It's definitely. I mean, it's a different game. But
See, the funny part, I don't come to every tournament, but I watch every snap.
yes,
You know, and I think they laugh at me. I watch everything from a coach's perspective.
Right.
So I'm watching.
Mark be screaming at the TV at home. So.
Yeah, I'm trying not to throw anything. But like Ellie and I talk, and then I start going into cover 1-3 pattern match concepts, and he's like, "Wait a minute," but that's how I'm thinking. I actually spoke to a couple of college defensive coordinators. I'm sending them cut-ups on different opponents. What's the best way to attack this? The best way to attack that? Because, like you was just saying, the talent-wise, front and back end, we're probably as good as ever. But there's some teams that we had some dogs.
Yeah.
Yo, how you found your offensive lineman, the big dude, real big dude?
Barrero.
The tallest big dude.
Who?
Mike Barrero.
Ferrari
Barrero.
Mike.
Mike.
Ferrari Mike.
Big Mike, Stony Brook man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
His brother played with us.
Yeah,
played
brother
with
played
us.
first. Yeah, brother played first.
Yeah, Big Dave.
Yeah.
So I mean, David Miro was a problem on Long Island for a long time, and
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
you go look him up. His brother Solomon, we're trying to get him, and he plays for the Globetrotters,
Y'all
bro.
went because of
You know
God.
that, right? you know that, right? Though his brother plays for Globetrotters.
I
The
know that.
Bamiro family is
I
some
know
freak
that.
athletes.
Yeah, crazy athletes.
Yo, Dave come walk around with his shirt off, and you just want to leave.
Yeah. I mean, just the stature. I mean, 6'8", 6'9", dude.
Yeah.
We're not trying to go against that.
Yeah, we've had some great, amazing football players come through the doors, and like we've really like the team we got right now. It's awesome, just like from a personality vibe. Like you got so many leaders. It really like you see me barely other than screaming about penalties. Like not much to
Relatively
say,
calm,
man.
yeah.
He's got everybody kind of coaches and does their own
Cellini
thing.
too. I mean, just from think about 4 years ago, 5 years ago, how he would be hoarse.
A
This
Percocet,
is
man.
this is how we retool. This
Yeah.
is coming down the pipe. You
Okay.
see what it says on that uniform?
Show the camera.
Nah, because I don't want his
you can't give
identity
out
getting
secrets.
out.
You can't give out
But we
secrets.
can say what
Yeah,
school,
yeah,
OSU. We can say what school.
That's Tank School.
Yeah.
He'll know that one.
I got some dogs coming.
OTU.
And the thing is that's what separates. I believe that's what separates main event above the rest, because they don't know about all the stuff, all the recruiting, all the hard work that it goes on. They don't appreciate things that goes on behind the scenes. That it's like, oh, how did he get that guy? How did he get that guy? Because they're doing their homework. Opposed to,
All right.
I'm gonna just try
Another
to.
one, baby.
I'ma
You see
just-
what that uniform says, right? Just so those who aren't watching, they playing this week. All right, but that's coming down the
Right.
pipe.
Right.
All right, this is how we do.
Game is played in the trenches, right?
All right,
In the trenches, I'm telling people.
all right, it's coming, baby. This is how we do. This is how we do.
I ain't even mad at you. I'm not even mad at you. And you see how you say Mike got a limp off if he retired? How many more years do you think you got left? 10, 15, 20
It's
more
1 year
years?
contracts, man.
Yeah.
Every year is a 1 year contract.
sir.
So
Yeah.
that's all I'm planning for right now.
Yeah.
I told Jamie he got me for another year. Like after
Yeah.
that, we'll see what happens.
Right.
So like I'm not planning any more beyond that. You know what they say, life is short. So gotta live for today.
That's it. And I think the kids is going to be a major factor going forward. Once you see the kids play, you start coaching.
Oh,
the
absolutely.
Kids. It just, and I think Butte said that like months ago. He said he wanted to see his kids
Yeah,
play.
listen, it's way less work
Yeah.
and equally, if not more,
It's
gratifying.
important. Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, but and I love Mike. I hope Mike's another Tom Brady. But when Mike's ready to shut it down, this is who he's going to groom. Look at closely what his shirt says.
How old that guy is?
26.
26?
So just retool.
You understand? We retool.
Retool and reload.
This
That's-
is family.
that's it. Yeah.
This is family. They're waiting in the wings.
Right.
Next
So-
gen.
That's it. I'm not mad at you.
I go
The
see
next gen.
I tell these brothers, I miss a year of tournaments. I show up at the next gen game. They're starting corner play for me at Nassau. So now he's taking a coach. His first team, he played main event while in school at Nassau. So he didn't even know I was down with the team until I came to the tournament.
Right.
And that's family. That's family. My players are family. You know, any Nassau player, again, playing with us or against us. You mentioned me and his family.
So you raised and grew in Long Island?
You're born and raised.
Born and raised.
Roosevelt, Long Island.
Where?
The rings.
The
The
rings.
rings.
Go ahead, bro.
Listen,
Yes, sir.
I don't want to give you no bad luck.
I can't even get an honorary ring no more. I'm so
Look at that.
proud of
Listen, there's a
you.
limited number of them.
I'm so
I
I
proud
had to
of
send
you.
one to my man Jose.
What's up?
They get bigger and bigger.
Absolutely.
Ah.
Deserved. Well deserved. FFL. Well deserved ring.
That's
Well
what's up.
deserved.
Should be more.
Yeah, man. That's
Should be
a blame.
more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Should be more.
Everybody go check out Zeke's video. He's got him on his hand. He's
Oh
definitely
yeah,
a
yeah,
little
yeah.
swag.
Listen, if you earn them, you get to floss like that.
Absolutely.
And you definitely and people and I
Can't
think
hate.
You can. That's the biggest thing. I think a lot of people they upset and they said that a big controversy that was going on is buying players, and that's why I said in your definition you have to describe what you mean by buying players, and I think that's a big thing going on in non-man.
To me, I hate excuses.
Right.
I don't care.
But that's what I say it is.
Listen, I don't
that's
care.
What I say it is.
Listen, all that shit's part of the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to
it's
hear
not new.
keep buying.
It's not new, right?
This ain't new.
It's right.
I mean,
Listen, if I got it, I take care of my players
We see
all
teams
day.
go out there and spend thousands of dollars on players and not win
Listen, the one
tournaments.
thing I keep telling people is like when you're winning
Right.
and the bag is coming back,
Right.
it's called reinvestment.
Investment,
It's not
absolutely.
like you say what you
Absolutely.
want, but like
Yeah.
when we stop winning and
Right.
it's just a straight L
Right.
and it's a that's
I
one
would say
thing.
this: before we won with Dio, we was on the verge of that. Before we won with Dio, we was on the verge of that, where we just kept losing tournaments. Final four, Final four,
Getting
Final four,
closer
Final four.
and closer.
It was extremely close. Where it wasn't like when he was like, "Yo, can we really do this?" And then
And look, man, having resources helps, but at the end of the day, players got to play.
That's
and
it.
like you
That's
put
it.
9 dudes on the field,
Absolutely.
and we play teams that are just as talented.
absolutely,
When somebody's going to have to kill us to take
Right.
their title away.
Right.
So I mean, main event is just a different team on a Sunday afternoon
Absolutely.
or Sunday night. So listen, I can't wait for next year's Nationals. Like I'm looking forward to it. I won't be at the same spot, so
You got to think about Atlantic City first. Come on.
Atlantic City.
He would skip all the tournaments. He would go straight to
But
Nationals.
they-
I need another trophy. Listen, I gotta get you back out here next year.
It's only but so many you can go to. I think that's the reality of it. Like you can only go to but so many. And then I also think they need to do a better job.
But see,
of
this is the
spacing
thing.
some
Like
things out.
you were saying before, like what are we doing? Like, so we got 3 tournaments laid out. We already got the wheels moving
Right.
in. Already got the work going.
Right.
Like you're talking months in advance, and like the communication.
You showed this plaque?
So,
You ain't showed this plaque yet. Yeah, we'll show your plaque.
well, Cellini, this is what we got from UFFL. We went out and had another trophy made.
Yeah,
So,
this is the last
The basement is
UFFL
complete.
trophy
Yeah.
plaque ever.
for real, for real. Sad, man. Sad.
It might be better. We'll
Hey, time
see.
will tell. We'll see. People make decisions.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they're right decisions.
I'm definitely excited to see where we go forward. With, like I said, with just the non-man community as a whole. Like I said, a lot of things talk about the merger, but I really want to see how this plays out this year. And then again, we just had a big shakeup today, learning that they're going to be moving next year. So how's that going to affect UFFL? That's something that's unforeseen. But like I said, we're gonna wait for the details and see how non-man gets accommodated.
So just,
next year.
I gotta go eat, man. I'm starving.
Yes.
So everybody knows. So
we'll
this
close
is
this
happening
out.
here
Yeah.
at the main event. It's actually like a real joint
Right.
here in Plainview, where Farmingdale.
Farmingdale.
And as Chris was saying before, the owner here, like we are actually a sponsored team,
Yes.
despite what everybody
Yes.
thinks. So come down if you live local, support Mike in the main event, and you can see our trophies and plaques. and
This place is dope.
for real,
This place is
it's a
dope.
great spot, man.
food's amazing.
NCAA tournaments,
Cool.
place is jumping.
Packed.
So
Packed.
tons of TVs on a Sunday afternoon. Place is dope.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I thank you for inviting me.
Hey
Yes,
man,
sir.
thank you for coming out, bro.
No doubt.
Always a pleasure.
No
man.
doubt,
Great time,
man.
had a great
Keep
time.
on being great, man.
Always, brother.
Keep on being great,
time.
man.
My
Y'all
man.
already know.
Thank you,
Y'all
Dino.
already know.
Appreciate you guys coming out here, man. Tremendous effort.
Yeah, we're about to close this out,
Yeah,
man.
great effort. Thank you guys.
Well,
Really,
we
really
outta here,
appreciate
man.
it.
To the
Get
next
Big- get
time.
Big Chris back in here.
Cellini, come say goodbye.
Oh, he's over there.
Hey,
He over there. Stuff
Chris,
in his
eat
face.
it, man.
Let that
We
man eat.
outta
Let that
here.
man eat.
Yeah.
Good night.
We out.